I remember the moment like it happened yesterday. We were standing in the kitchen of our downtown apartment in Chicago, the city lights glowing faintly through the blinds. Not arguing, just simmering. The air was heavy, thick with everything left unsaid. Dinner plates sat on the counter, cold and forgotten. She leaned against the sink, arms crossed, wearing that cold, distant expression she'd perfected over the last several months. And then she said it, calmly, calculated. Other men want me. No anger. No confrontation. Just a statement meant to provoke. But I didn't bite. I didn't ask her why. I didn't accuse her of anything. I simply stared, not at my wife, but at a stranger, a woman who had been living in my house, sleeping in my bed, pretending to love me while quietly packing her emotions away. Piece by piece, leaving behind nothing but the outline of what we used to be. That was the moment I realized she was gone. Emotionally, mentally, completely. The connection we once had wasn't broken. It had been slowly dissolving, silently, until all that remained was an echo. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't throw anything. I didn't even ask her to explain. I just nodded, turned, grabbed a small bag, my keys, and walked out. No drama. No confrontation. Just silence. I drove 3 hours north that night to a cabin my uncle had left me in northern Wisconsin. It was run down and mostly forgotten, but it had electricity, quiet, and no cell service, exactly what I needed. The first night, I lay awake thinking about all the signs I had ignored. Her frequent late nights at the office. How she stopped laughing at my jokes. The phone she always kept face down. The last anniversary, when I poured wine and shared dinner, while she answered messages she had ignored for days. I told myself she was tired. That work was stressful. But deep down, I realized I was the one truly tired. Tired of carrying it all. Tired of being the only one still fighting for us. Days passed in that cabin, each one quieter than the last. I didn't call. I didn't text. I left her to whatever men she claimed were waiting. By the second week, the emails came, short lines at first. Where are you? Are you okay? Can we talk? I didn't answer. Not to punish her, but because I finally understood. There was nothing I could say that would undo what she had already chosen. By week 3, her emails grew longer. I didn't mean it, she wrote. I was angry. I felt invisible. I just wanted to feel wanted. I didn't know you still cared. I read each line carefully, letting it sink in. I had loved her too deeply. Too fully. I had stopped playing the games she set. I refused to be baited. A month passed. When I returned to the city, I didn't go home. I rented a small apartment, a quiet place where I could rebuild my life without her shadow hanging over me. She didn't know I was back. Weeks later, I saw her at the grocery store. She looked thinner, tired, and alone. Our eyes met, and I gave a polite nod. She reached out, touching my arm. Please, she whispered. Can we talk? I looked at her the same way I had that night in the kitchen, like a stranger. And for the first time, her regret wasn't masked by anger or manipulation. It was raw and honest. But I had nothing left to give. So I said nothing. I walked away. She had gotten what she wanted. Attention from other men, validation of her desirability. But she didn't expect to lose the one man who had stood by her when she didn't even know she needed someone to stand by her. She thought I'd chase her, beg, fight, but I didn't. I disappeared because not every man stays when he's treated like an option. Some of us leave quietly, letting the silence speak. Loyalty doesn't demand recognition. It is quiet, steady, and when it is gone, the void it leaves is louder than any words could ever be. Months later, I had built a life of my own. A new apartment in a quieter neighborhood. A new routine. No shared meals, no unsaid apologies, just space to breathe. And sometimes when I looked back, I felt a strange sense of peace. Not triumph. Not revenge. Just freedom. She had wanted to feel desired. She got her wish. But what she lost was something far greater. A man who had loved her wholly, and had the wisdom to walk away when it became clear she no longer loved him. And in the quiet of my apartment, with the city lights outside my window, I finally realized that leaving had been the bravest act of all. If you've ever been betrayed or taken for granted, watch until the end to see how quiet strength and decisive action can change everything. Don't just sit there, learn how to protect your heart and reclaim your life.